Okay, so now, one of the things I did when I was in the FBI is on the shooting team, okay? FBI agent kills somebody, I'm there investigating it. So I've got to go and deal with the situation, deal with the evidence, the forensics, talk to the guy, and then figure out when it goes to a grand jury, is this going to be a good shoot or a bad shoot, okay? So when I'm teaching police, which I do now, teach the police academy in Missouri, at my school actually, we have a police academy. What we're looking at, and this is what we teach the police, but it's going to apply to you guys, right? When you guys get into conflict, right, okay, what you're trying to do is you're trying to resolve the conflict in your favor. And when you're trying to resolve the conflict in your favor, what you're trying to do is gain compliance. And you're going to either gain voluntary compliance or involuntary compliance, right? Okay. So if we look at the continuum here, you have basically a verbal arena. Okay, we haven't touched that today. Okay, that's kind of my specialty. That's kind of my negotiation. Guys got a gun to somebody's head. How do you talk to them? How do you build empathy? How do you build rapport with them? It's a whole process, right? And it works. Okay. And so that's kind of this area, right? And we have non-threatening to more threatening dialogue, And then as we cross the line here, we get over here to the non-deadly force, which is going to be your combatives, sticks, knives. Well, I guess you could say that deadly force is a knife, but we'll just, for purposes of this, we're going to talk deadly force as guns, okay? Now, you've got arrows here, which means that just because it's going this way doesn't mean it can't go back this way. So we're constantly trying to de-escalate the situation if possible, and we're going to maneuver around that. So if you put it up there as far as a graphic, you got 2 engagement zones. Okay, all right. You only got 3 options when you run into conflict. You can either talk, fight, or shoot. That's it. Okay, and this is your engagement zone. This weekend we're here. Okay, there's also a talk zone, and there's a shoot zone. So what we want to cover a little bit is I'm going to touch on this, but focus on this because that's what Paul wanted me to do, okay? Now, talk, fight, shoot, move. Move is moving to cover, right? Moving away, moving to a different line of attack, right? Moving to an opening. Moving to some other advantage, or moving between talk, fight, shoot. Because if I'm talking with someone and somebody pulls a gun on me, I'm going to go to shoot, probably. I'm going to probably skip hands and knife. If I got a gun, I'm going to go to my gun, right? If I'm walking to a situation and somebody points a gun at me, I'm going to go right to shoot. But maybe he puts the gun down, right? Or I get the gun away from him. Then I might be going back here. So so what we have to do is think about the flow. And so we want to flow through talking. This is the universal sign for negotiation for police, right? So you got the horse that's talk, unarmed combatives, armed combatives, and shooting, all take there. Now, when I teach it as, in terms of, I just come up with that term, it's called tactical conflict resolution, because people like you're fighting, especially corporations, businesses and things like this. And so it's a way into a business. So if you learn the whole model, you can get much further in corporate. They have big checkbooks, right? They pay a shitload of money, more than a cop does and more than a martial arts guy does, right? They pay big money, right? And you move yourself into that position, then you can start talking about the other stuff they don't really want to talk about, but they really do. But like for workplace violence stuff, right? Or school violence, that type of threat assessment. So this is kind of the 20,000 foot level where we're we fitting into this in terms of what we're doing today. And